What's going on? Hey, everybody. Today I wanted to go live and talk about fears and things that are holding you back. Maybe you've heard me say that entrepreneurship is the greatest self-development course that you'll ever take. And I totally mean that. It's as an entrepreneur, your business can only grow to the degree that you grow. So maybe you've heard me talk about every quarter, Jordan and I do a quarterly review. And one of the questions is what is the one thing that's holding you back? And last quarter, I wrote down that I was holding back investing in myself because it's really scary to invest lots of money in your business. You really have to believe in yourself. You really have to, heal your relationship with money and trust that when you put it out, it's going to come back tenfold to you. And so that was the one thing holding me back last quarter. And then we found this mastermind that we then invested $60,000 into. So the best way I think to overcome your fear is to stare at it face on. And we did our quarterly review last week because the quarters started again on Saturday or Sunday. And the thing that I wrote down was going live, public speaking. That is definitely an area that I know I'm holding back in because it scares me. And so I have challenged myself to go live once a week on my YouTube and my Facebook, which I'm trying to figure out my setup. So I'm looking at both of them at the same time. That is one of my goals for myself for this quarter. And I wanted to share that to show you kind of the behind the scenes, because I hear this a lot from agents that look at me and look at my social media, maybe look at my YouTube channel, and they say, how do you do it? I hate making reels with my face on it. I hate hearing my voice on camera. I hate all of those things. And you are looking at how I do it. I hated it too. My very first YouTube video, my brother dragged me onto his camera and made me talk. It was on his YouTube channel, like maybe 10 years ago, and I'll find that video. I just was not looking at the camera. My voice was quiet. I was looking down. My whole body language was scared. And even my very first YouTube channel that I made in real estate, when I watch those videos now, I see how much I have grown and how much I have changed. And I know that when 1 year from now or a couple months from now, when I look back at these live videos, I'm gonna be like, wow, I was so uncomfortable and awkward. But that's cool because I did it every week and now I've grown and now I'm comfortable and now I'm not scared anymore. So that is the big thing to do. Like it's so scary to face your fears, but it's really the best way, the most efficient way to overcome it. And if you look at it as an opportunity for growth instead of an opportunity for, I don't know, humiliating yourself or whatever the fears are. Like I obviously do a lot of social media in my business. And if you're watching this, hey, thanks for watching. I was nervous at first even to post on social media. My backstory about that is that I lived the most Instagrammable life for 3 years when I was traveling all around the world. And I went to Paris and I went to Bali and I went to the cherry blossoms in Japan 3 times and all of these amazing things. And I never posted about it on social media because I was so scared of showing up. And then when I decided that I was holding myself back in that area, I just made myself do it. And so it's not about not being scared. I think that so many people, I know this because they say this to me, oh, it's easy for you to post on social media because it's so easy for you. I'm not like you. And I hear that all the time. And I hope this shows that you are like me. You're just like me a couple chapters earlier. And maybe you've heard that phrase, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 20. At the beginning, I was scared of social media. At my beginning of video recording, I was scared. And at my beginning of going live, I am scared. I'm uncomfortable. My heart is racing. Before this, I went into Jordan. I was like, I don't want to go live. I don't, it's not fun for me right now, but I also have done this in enough areas of my life, in everything. My very first yoga class, I hated it. And then for like 5 years of my life, I went to yoga every single day because I just loved it so much. And I still love it. I just haven't been going as much. But most things, when you start them, it's new and it's scary and it's uncomfortable and you're bad at it because it's new. But that doesn't mean that you'll always be bad at it. And it doesn't mean that it will always be scary and that it will always be uncomfortable. The best way to build confidence is to build competence by doing it. So even if you, whatever it is, if you're learning to drive a car or ride a unicycle or cook Italian meals or go live on Facebook and Instagram or whatever it is, if you just do it consistently, eventually, one, you'll get better at it. So then you'll feel more confident when you're doing it because at least you're like, oh, well, at least I don't suck at it. But also it's part of your psychology that the more you do something, the more familiar you are with it. That's why, like, the word family is the root of familiar. We love them because they are so familiar. You know, so many things in our life, your house, your bedroom, these things feel comfortable to you because you spend so much time there. So just because you haven't spent time going live on Facebook and YouTube, or posting on social media, or cold calling prospects for your business, or emailing people for whatever it is in your life. It could be dancing, or, driving a car, learning how to drive a stick shift, like whatever it is in your life that you're just uncomfortable with. It also just means you're unfamiliar with it. So by definition, the more you do it, the more you will become familiar with it, the easier it will become, the more your skill set will grow, the better you will become. And then it becomes this big, fun cycle of just growing and improving. And then you can be like me and you're like, okay, check that one off. Like, I'm comfortable on YouTube now when I can edit it and cut out all of my ums and when I look weird and whatever. But now I'm forcing myself to keep growing and keep going live. And if you just keep doing these, like, quarterly planning is really impactful for me, because that's when I can look back and say, oh, what was my one thing holding me back last quarter? Okay, actually, if I'm being quite honest, it was a goal for me to go live last quarter, but I didn't do it because I was working on other goals. But this quarter, I was like, okay, that's 2 quarters in a row that this showed up. And I'm not willing to, once I see that in myself, yes, it's scary. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's uncomfortable. But I know that it's possible to overcome it and to get past it. So just because something's scary for now doesn't mean it will always be scary. And then next quarter, I can look back and be like, oh my God, remember when I was scared going live? That was so funny. But then I did it once a week for 14 weeks or however many weeks I'm going to do this, maybe forever. Eventually, I know it will stop being scary. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'm proud of myself for going 7 minutes. I hope takeaway for you is, one, do quarterly planning. It's amazing. Especially if you're an entrepreneur, we never stop and look back. It's very hard for us, even with KPIs and all that stuff. If you're good at tracking, the little things can slip through. And like I said at the beginning, your business as an entrepreneur will grow to the length that you grow as a person. So the more that you can just identify where you're winning and be grateful and be proud of yourself, and then also look forward and look at yourself hard and say, where am I holding myself back? And then the really hard part is, once you've identified what is holding you back, face it and do it and overcome it and stop holding yourself back in that area. If you want to hear more about my quarterly review, like template and the questions that we asked, let me know. I'd be happy to share that. The second thing I would love to share, and the takeaway for this, is fear is normal and everyone feels it. And the people that you see, the Olympic athletes and the big entrepreneurs and the daredevils that are skydiving, all of those people, it's not that they don't feel the fear and they've never felt the fear. It's just that they trained themselves to get over that fear. So if there's something that is holding you back, or there's something that you just want to overcome the fear and you want to experience the personal growth for fun, I challenge you to face it. And it doesn't have to be once a week like this. It could be whatever it is for you. Just challenge yourself one time to do the thing that scares you, or to do the thing that makes you uncomfortable. I think it's a very fun part of the human experience to grow and to learn and to challenge yourself. And it's so cool to see, like, I'm going to end this video and I'm going to be like, cool, I didn't die. The world didn't end. Nothing happened, So that is also fun to do. If you do something that scares you and then you're like, oh, that actually, wow, it was so much worse in my head than it actually was in real life. So thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, drop a heart. If you're watching the replay, drop a crown. And let me know. I'll be going live sometime next week as well on both my YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, I have a new YouTube channel, Melanie Super Royal Life. Check that out. And remember, you're all kings and queens, and abundance is your birthright. I will see you at the top, and I am cheering for you. Whether you're afraid or not, you are showing up, and that is incredible. I'll talk to you soon.